It's shortcuts time again, and here are 18 new ones. Use Apple Intelligence to create an entire packing list for your trip. Get a reminder to respond to that important text message with a link back to the conversation. Several Apple Music playlist automations. Quickly check Amazon prices during the holiday season. Scan invoices to a spreadsheet, automate birthday text with AI, and a ton more. As always, links to download these shortcuts are in the description, and you'll also find a link to my Shortcuts merch store. You can get embroidered Shortcuts period hoodies and shirts. Yes, my family modeled for these. Shortcuts hats, clothes for kids, and yes, even the Actions mug. First up, I call this my Remember This shortcut. It's a little different than my Save for Later, where you would save links, social media posts, or videos. I created this because sometimes I want to save a screenshot of what I'm looking at with a little context, but it's not necessarily a link or social media post. So what this does is I run it from the Control Center, it auto dismisses Control Center, takes a screenshot, using the Apple Intelligence action, gives a little context to what I'm looking at. It'll also pull any URLs, and then Apple Intelligence comes up with a title and creates an Apple Note. So for instance, maybe I saw some shirt or apparel and I want to remember this for later, just the link might not be good context, and I don't want to add a bookmark. So I can swipe down to Control Center, I've added my Remember This shortcut here in the Control Center, and when I run it, it dismisses, takes a screenshot, pulls the text from the image, uses ChatGPT to make a little context and summary, and now I have an Apple Note with a link back to the URL because it was in the address bar, some context, and a screenshot of what I was looking at. This will work if you see something on social media, in Safari, or if you just have something like an important text message and you want to save that context for later. I'll run the Remember This shortcut, it takes that screenshot, provides a little context, and then I have that screenshot with verbiage here, and it's all saved in Apple Notes. Now I would create a folder in Apple Notes, this way all of these get saved to the same place, and you want to change that here in the Create Note With. If I expand this, I'm adding it to my folder called Things to Remember, but just tap here and choose one of your own folders where you want it to save. Next, I created this auto birthday shortcut, but I have two versions, and one is a little advanced that will actually come up with a different message every year when you text the same person. This simple one will just pull from your contacts. If somebody's birthday is today, it'll show a list of all those contacts, and then you can choose which ones you want to text. So when I run this shortcut, it should present me a list. There we go. I have a list of people. I'm only going to choose this one. And when I tap done, and then it's going to pre-populate a text that just says happy birthday, then you can send it. So that's cool, but if you want to customize the message and maybe even use AI to write something different every year, I created this version. Now in order for this to work, you need to create an Apple Note and call it birthday text. Have that be the exact title. Now the way this is working is every time you send a text to someone, it's actually logging that in this birthday text note. It has the contact, whose birthday it was, and the message that you sent. So if I run this shortcut, I can still choose from a list who I want to text, but then you'll see Apple Intelligence is coming up with a specific message here. And when you send that message, it's actually logging it to Apple Notes. So here, you'll keep track of all the birthday texts you've sent year after year. And then when you run the shortcut, Apple Intelligence is actually looking at that note, seeing the text that you sent previously, and then it's going to come up with something new to say every time. So if I run it again, choose Fernando, now I'm going to get a different message, a different emoji, and you can automate this to run every morning. It'll send birthday texts that are unique to everyone every year. This next one was a request from the community, and I call it Packing List AI. It's going to ask you a bunch of questions about where you're going, the travel, how long, what kind of luggage you'll be taking. Then it's going to use Apple Intelligence with the ChatGPT extension to create a packing list and then add all those items to a reminders list and then open that list for you. So if I run this shortcut, it's going to ask, where are you going? I'll say Hawaii. How long will you be there? And you can use natural language, just say something like 7 days. Any special activities? I'll say scuba diving. Tap done. It asks what luggage I'm going to bring. We'll say suitcase. It's asking where to save it. And now I have a new reminders list automatically titled packing list with today's date. And then it has a list of all the things I need to take based on the context of where I'm going, how long, and what piece of luggage I'm bringing. And if you're going on a trip, you're going to need to charge your devices. That's where today's sponsor ESR comes in. They've launched a bunch of new Qi 2 25-watt fast charging. That's going to fast charge your iPhone, fast charge your Apple Watch, and their 3-in-1 chargers can also cover your AirPods. Get their 3-in-1 magnetic charging station with CryoBoost, perfect for your nightstand or your desk. Plus it comes with a 50-watt power brick and cable in the box. With that CryoBoost, you're going to get fast iPhone charging up to 25 watts. Plus put your AirPods and Apple Watch on there and you're good to go. And if you're traveling, ESR's CryoBoost Foldable 3-in-1 magnetic charging station is great. It's actually the world's first 3-in-1 charger that's been featured in Time's Best Inventions of 2025. Not only is it super low profile, comes with a 50-watt charging brick and cable in the box as well, but it also has ESR's CryoBoost cooling when it's charging your iPhone. Even has an alignment magnet if you want to attach your iPhone vertically, or you can put it in landscape with standby mode, pop out the Apple Watch charger and fast charge that, plus your AirPods on the back. Super compact, great for throwing in a bag. Now's the perfect time to upgrade your charger, link in the description with a discount code, or getting friends and family gifts for the holiday season. ESR has some great options. My thanks to ESR for sponsoring this video. Next, someone from the Shortcuts community wanted to be able to mark their parked car location, even if they don't necessarily use Apple Maps. So this shortcut, it's going to ask whether you want to log your parking spot or get back to that parking spot. So when you run it, it uses the set parked car action. It will log my parking spot to Maps, and then if I run it again, I can choose to retrieve parking and it will automatically give me walking directions back to my car. Now you can also create some cool automations with the parked car actions. For instance, you could choose when you disconnect from your car Bluetooth or disconnect from CarPlay. This way, even if you weren't using the directions, you could say, when you disconnect from CarPlay, just create a new shortcut and use the one action. This way, every time you get out of the car, it automatically marks it, and then you can use my shortcut to retrieve it. Side note, you can actually just ask the voice assistant, where did I park my car? And it'll actually just show you right there and automatically open walking directions. Next, I wanted a better way to save text messages and add them to reminders, so I remembered when to respond. So what this shortcut does, I'm also running it from the control center. It actually takes a screenshot, uses Apple Intelligence to kind of give me a little summary that is going to add a reminder, but also include the person's contact information in that reminder. It's going to set an alert for 3 hours from now to remember to respond, and a quick link to get back to that conversation. Fernando's being funny since I'm using him as a guinea pig for the shortcut, but let's say you wanted to create a reminder to respond back to this person. The one thing you need to do is copy their phone number to your clipboard. You can do that quickly by tapping their name here, then tap and hold on their number and tap copy. Once you do that, run this shortcut, maybe from the control center. There's my text convo to reminders. What that does is it will dismiss control center automatically, take a screenshot, then it's going to create a reminder with an alert from 3 hours from now, but also it's actually going to add that screenshot to the reminder so I can see exactly what text message that I was talking about. But in addition to the timed reminder, it also set a reminder that when I'm messaging Fernando, it should remind me as well. So next time I'm going to message Fernando, as soon as I send any message, that reminder is actually going to pop up, letting me know, oh, I needed to actually respond about that other part of the conversation or group text, and it's still going to remind me 3 hours from now. That one's been especially useful. Next, I had a couple of requests for Apple Music automations. One was just to play your latest playlist. Now, unfortunately, there's not great built-in actions for this, but the third-party app Actions, which is right there, I'll link it down in the video description, actually lets you find your music playlists. You can sort by date created, and then get the latest item, or the first item from list. It's going to get the songs from that playlist, and then play it. So if I run this shortcut, it's going to get my latest playlist, and music should start playing. And the latest playlist I created was my AirPods Pro 3 playlist. You can see it right there, and the F1 track was in fact the right song. And if I look at my up next queue, you can see it's all the songs that were in that playlist. This won't run on Apple Watch, unfortunately, because it requires the third-party action, but if you want to quickly create your latest created playlist, this will work fine. Now, another request from the community was to copy the songs from multiple playlists into one playlist. Namely, if you want to save one playlist for offline listening like on your Apple Watch. So what this shortcut does is, you need to put your playlist names exactly as they appear in your library here in this text block. So I'm going to choose two playlists, my AirPods Pro 3 review and the Sony XM6 review. Remember, that has to be exactly the name of the playlist. Then it's going to repeat with each of those playlist names, getting all the songs, and then adding it to a playlist of your choice. In this action right here, you need to choose what playlist you want to save these to. I'm going to create a playlist called Shortcut Test, just to make sure it's actually working. I'll choose my Shortcut Test playlist, and now let's run this and see if it works. Should be going through those two playlists, adding all the songs. That happened pretty quickly. Let's check it. Yep, there's my Shortcuts Test playlist. It pulled all the songs from my AirPods Pro 3 review playlist and my XM6 review. Happened super fast, and that's with all built-in actions. So you can quickly combine playlists. Just put the playlist you want to combine names here and choose the destination playlist down here. Next, another community request was actually dictating journal entries, but wanted to quickly just say some things and have Apple Intelligence summarize it in a bullet list, title a journal entry automatically, relate it to the content, and then actually use the Apple Journal app. So I'm going to run this. Today, I made a couple videos, a smart home tour. I also did a Level Lock Pro video, and now I'm recording the last video of the day, which is a shortcuts roundup, my 18 new Apple Intelligence shortcuts. So I just dictated some text. It's now going to parse that, use Apple Intelligence to create the journal entry, and that quickly, it created the journal entry for today, automatically titled it with those bullet points, and now you can quickly dictate journal entries that go directly to Apple's app. Next, I'm recording this around the holiday season, and I wanted to be able to quickly check prices from multiple Amazon items. So I'm using a website called Camel. Now what I've done is I'm actually getting these specific product pages for Camel, and then it's going to repeat the process for all three items, and when I run it, it's going to check the price, use Apple Intelligence with the ChatGPT extension to pull the current price and the Amazon link. I'll see it in a list right here, and then I can tap one to quickly open it in Amazon. They're the products I'm searching for. There's a great deal on the MacBook Air, so I can tap that one and open that item in Amazon right here. Full disclosure, if you use this, I am adding my Amazon affiliate tag if you do buy something, but if you don't want that, just X out that action, and then it will just open the Amazon link without my affiliate tag. Just go to the Camel website, copy and paste the product names here. It will do it for as many as you want. Hit return, paste the new URL. A product like this, just tap the address bar down here, copy it to your clipboard, paste it right here on a new line. You can leave the little spaces there. That's not going to mess anything up. I'll run it again, and now we should see 4 items. Now we have all the products, including the one we just added. I can tap it, and it'll load it in Amazon. Next, I did a whole video on my food tracker app shortcut. I've had a lot of requests for changes, so I did add context, so when you scan a barcode, you can tell it how many servings. So I'll run this, I'll say I'm gonna scan barcode, I just scanned an item, and then it's gonna ask how many servings you're having, and then it will calculate the macros and calories based on the servings you put here. It's asking for an exact number, but you can do like 1.5 or 2, and a lot of people were asking for additional fields. I've created a few versions for different people. I have a lot in my community. The one that I'll add in the version of the shortcut I put in the video description, I've added fiber down here. And if any of these are not important to you, or if you want to change one of those macros, you can change fiber here. Then you'll need to change the ChatGPT prompts for both barcode scanning and ChatGPT estimate. You want to change it down here, the actual text. I would change the variable name, both in the scan for barcode and in the ChatGPT estimate. And you also need to change the text down here that adds to your Apple Note. You'll also need to change it under the today's total estimation. So you have to change it in a lot of places, but that's how you can change one of those macros for right now. Next, I've done several versions of this, but I actually think Apple improved the transcribe action, specifically on the iPhone and iPad. So this version of the Transcribe My Podcasts and Summarize, you should be able to run it even on your iPhone or iPad. I have a list of podcasts that you can choose from here. If you want to swap any of them out, just change the name here in the menu. You'll want to change the name of the show in the text block under that menu option, and you need to put the show's direct RSS link here. So you can swap out whichever of these you would like, but when you run it, I'll choose Primary Technology. This is actually going to pull the Primary Tech Daily Show. It's going to transcribe that audio file right here directly in the shortcut. It's going to send that to ChatGPT and ask it for a summary. Then it's going to create an Apple Note where the episode title is the title of the note. It has the name of the podcast and the publish date for this episode, the summary, the key ideas, that's all from ChatGPT, and it's going to have the full transcription of the podcast all in that one Apple Note. I think this is the most streamlined version of it so far. If it errors out on your iPhone, try it on your iPad, or if you download this to your Mac, on the Mac it works like 99% of the time. Swap out the shows you want, now you can get a summary and full transcript of any episode. By the way, if you enjoy these shortcuts, I would love if you join my shortcuts community. We're nearing 3,000 free members, and over 900 people have become paying supporters. Thank you all so much. I'm trying to add more benefits to make it even more worthwhile. And the latest is live streams. I'm doing a live stream every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, going through shortcuts that are brand new and taking live requests, building them step by step so you can learn how to do it yourself. And every live stream is recorded so you can watch the replays with links to all the shortcuts that I built and talked about in the live streams right under that video. There's already 3 live stream recordings in there, and I'll be doing that every Wednesday going forward. Would appreciate your support. You can join the community at shortcut.bot. Speaking of Apple Notes, I had someone request an easy way to jump to a specific folder or tag. So this shortcut just gives you an option. Ask for folders or tags. You can jump to either one, and then it will show you the list of either tags or folders you have. Quickly tap it, and it'll bring you directly to that tag or folder. I could choose folder here. I'll choose my things to remember folder, and there's all the things I've been using my things to remember for. And one other notes shortcut, someone requested a way to create a checklist with the actual check boxes in Apple Notes from plain text. And there is actually an action to append a checklist item. You have to use that action if you want the actual bubble that you can tap. This asks what folder you want to save it to. I'll do things to remember. This is going to ask for tasks. Put each task on its own line. I'll just do a quick grocery list, and then it's going to create a note. And it actually has the little check boxes for each item. The checklist is with today's date. If you want to change the title of the note, just expand this first action and you can change it here. Right now it's just checklist with today's date. Next, someone wanted to be able to scan invoices and then add information to a spreadsheet. Now this works with number spreadsheet because there's actually an action for that. And they also wanted to be able to choose what business the invoice applied to. So this shortcut, you choose what business, put your business names here, or you can just use this for a single business. You could choose whether you want to upload an invoice like a PDF or scan one. Now, if you're going to use the scan option, there's not a good built-in action that keeps you in shortcuts, so I'm using Toolbox Pro, the scan document action. Then it's going to use ChatGPT to parse information from that scan or PDF that you upload, has a bunch of variables, and then at the very bottom, it's going to add that information to a spreadsheet. You do need to choose your numbers file, the actual sheet name, the table name, and the header items. But you could scan an invoice, parse the information, and add it to a spreadsheet. Now I'm just going to show this information in Quick Look, but I'll scan it. It goes over to Toolbox Pro. Toolbox Pro scans it. And when I tap the blue check, it brings me back to the shortcut that was waiting for me to return. Now you see it has the business name, the date, the invoice number, and the amount paid. And you can parse that information to a spreadsheet, save it to an Apple Note, whatever you'd like. Next, someone in the community requested a shortcut that will pull their next calendar event. And since they take notes in this meeting, they wanted it to be able to pull the attendees of the event, any agenda that's in the notes portion of the event, the agenda, and then automatically create that Apple Note ready for input. So what this shortcut does is it will look at your next few events, choose that meeting or event that you want to take notes for. It's going to create the Apple Note with the headers and actually use the H2 header. And if you had attendees, they'll be listed here. Anything in the notes section of the event will be listed here. And then these items are ready for you to type in. Someone wanted to save their ChatGPT voice conversations to Apple Notes with some context. So this shortcut, you can run it from the share sheet. If you don't see it in the share sheet, remember to tap the eye icon at the bottom and then toggle on Show in Share Sheet. That's important. Then in your ChatGPT app, go to any conversation, tap the three dots and then Share. Tap the Share link at the bottom. Choose the ChatGPT voice summary to notes. And again, this is even more helpful if it's something that you dictated to ChatGPT and you just spoke back and forth. But it's going to summarize the conversation, bring it all over to Apple Notes. And there you get the title of the note, some key points, and a summary of the conversation. And the full transcript is in that Apple Note as well. All right, last two quick ones. Someone wanted to use the Meteo Weather API to pull different kinds of weather like soil moisture. I was not familiar with this service, but when you run it, you can ask for something in natural language like, what's the soil wetness for next Monday? It's going to pull a lot of information from that API and use Apple Intelligence to parse it, and you can get that kind of information here. And one of my viewers from California wanted an air quality warning index, and so what this does is gets the hourly forecast for air quality, uses Apple Intelligence to parse that information, and if the air quality index is over a certain number, meaning not very good, it's going to send you a notification letting you know what that number is, and you can automate this to run every morning so you get that notification first thing. Those are 18 new shortcuts I hope you enjoyed. And again, if you haven't yet, you could join my Shortcuts community at shortcut.bot. Appreciate your support. Come for the weekly live streams and watch the stream replays. Plus, you get access to my custom Shortcuts GPT, Shortcut of the Week, and a ton more. I'll put my last Apple Intelligence Shortcuts video right up here. You can get Shortcuts merch. Link is down in the description, and there's a little shelf there where you can just click items right here on YouTube. And I'll put another Apple Intelligence Shortcuts video right up here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.